Hey everybody, this is Freddy with LeviathanScuba.com. Do you really need a knife when you go diving? We'll talk about it in just a sec. So we get people that come in all the time and they're asking for a knife. And I usually start that conversation with, what are you going to use it for? Okay, so I think the misnomer is that a lot of times you want to use it for protection from animals. Newer divers think that. That's not the case. The minute you start diving, it doesn't matter if there's sharks around, all that kind of stuff, you're not going to use a knife for that purpose. I do carry a knife. I won't go diving without it. And I even carry one in the marine parks when you're not supposed to. I just hide it. And I'm going to talk about the different kinds of knives out there. But if you're going to use a knife, most likely the times you'll use it will be to cut line off the reef, maybe release an animal or a fish or a crab or something that's tangled up in fishing line or fishing nets. I did come across a ghost net in the Philippines, and we have a video on that, on how we got that off the reef, and it was really handy to have. So first you determine what you want to use it for. If you think it's going to be for protection, that would absolutely be a different knife than you really probably are going to find yourself using. So if you find yourself wanting to release an animal or cutting netting, or even as a tool sometimes to cut rope and things like that, there are different kinds of products out there that you can use. So I'll kind of start off with, this is a very typical blade. It is a J knife or a hook knife, and it's extremely sharp. It's for cutting fishing string. It's for cutting line. It'll handle even a BC strap. You can go right through it like butter with these things. Because they're not really a knife with a blade protruding, they allow these in protected marine parks. They just fit in the mount, and it fits on a BC strap or on a buckle. Okay, nice and safe, pretty easy. There are knives like this one, for example, which actually is a combination between dive scissors, which most people use to cut line, or sometimes the straps in an emergency. This can be scissors, This can be scissors, or it has a clip and it can be a knife. You're going to look for a knife that usually has both serrated and regular blades. This has the little hook in there, is a line cutter. I use those. When you turn it around, if you're right-handed, you run it up the line, and if you can get to the hook in the fish's mouth, you can sandwich the shank of the hook between your thumb and the blade of the knife, and it fits right in that little groove, and then you pop out the hook like that. Other than that, you can just take it on a piece of line, cut it right through, and again, it also works as scissors. Okay? There are all kinds of knives. Probably typically what you may remember in the movies and things is a fixed blade knife, and some of them were larger than these in the old days. If you were going after abalone, when I lived in California, we would get abalone. You'd have a knife about this long. You could pop it behind the abalone and pry it off the rock, and it had a measurement. It had the increments of inches on the blade, so you could tell if it was the right size or not. This is a little smaller. Again, it has a regular blade and a serrated blade, which is good. This is called a blunt tip. And then it does have the line cutter in there, and it fits in a sheath with compression, so it's pretty snug, pretty tight. And then there are numerous ways you can mount these to a BC. You can put it on the strap, on a weight belt, you can strap it to your leg, or you can strap it to your gear. That's a fixed blade. What you're going to find is different availabilities of those in different materials. For diving, snorkeling, you're going to want stainless steel minimum. Titanium is better. It's a little brittle, it costs a little bit more money. But here's a stainless steel, another blunt tip, line cutter, serrated blade, regular blade, quite a bit smaller. You don't really need anything big. And with a lot of modern BCs that are smaller, back inflates, travel BCs, these can mount very easily to a nice, out of the way spot. Even on a pocket, things like that. Okay? They will usually come with a sheath that can be also mounted a number of different ways, and that would be your fixed blade. You have some blades, this would be the Spyderco. This is a Salt series. This is called a Hawksbill, and it's extremely sharp, serrated blade only. It is a pocket knife, so if you're in a marine park, you can put this inside of a pocket or clip it in there. It's meant to have a clip on the back, or I usually put a stainless steel keyring on this and hang it from my BC. Okay? It's pretty easy to deploy even one-handed when you're under the water. The hook blade actually goes right through even a BC strap like butter. Fishing line is no problem. Okay? And totally salt proof, it won't rust, and many different kinds of knives that are out there. But I do recommend carrying a knife. You just need to know why you want one and what you want to carry it for. In a safety situation, they can't be beat, and I'd rather have one and not need it than need it and not have it. All right, make it a great day.